a lot of decks there. $16 decks is like a lot. That's so much damage, dude. What am I looking at? Hey. Most decks, 123. Most at 500%. Not bad. Good choice. What? What the fuck is that? Hey, what is this damage? I don't take damage. Not that way. Let's try. Life on that bell or what? Thought you could fucking rob me. What is that? Doesn't look very interesting. 5% melee crit chance if you have less than Two worst ones, dude. Classic. Classic. Now, can I do it again? No. Classic. Alright. We go to Age of Winter. Let's get this one right, and then we do it on Leech first. We put it on Leech first. Right. Desperately need to fucking get the Leech, I think. Or what are we actually looking for on a helmet, dude? What the hell are those garbage? Garbage. Always garbage, dude. Fun. Engaging. Fucking wave. Fucking maps, dude. something wrong with my filter. So I want to do this. Let's make it blue. Let's go green. Let's add condition. And it's going to be a item top. It's going to be a helmet. It's going to be a helmet that I literally never see.
I haven't closed my eyes in days.
Right.
Your love is keeping me awake.
Now, what affixes are we
I'm slowly fading in this
my helmet?
haze. Oh,
I need crit strike avoidance.
I like to keep you close to me. My safety comes from underneath. Your music is my remedy.
Every time we look at a helmet, we want Dex on it. I just realized Dex isn't showing on that, but maybe it's in the grades, it's fine. Every time we look at a helmet. I need to find a helmet real quick so I can test helmets. Helmet? What the fuck can we put prefixes on?
Oh, let's get fucked up, baby. Let your body go. I'll make your mind go
Why
crazy
pen with
and lose
ignite
control.
melt?
So come and move, body, ooh, body. So come and move with my body, let it overload. My heartbeat keeps on repeating, about to explode. Just turn the lights off, baby, and let it go. I'll make your mind go crazy and lose control. So come and move with my body, stay with me for the night. I just want to
Could put as class one. I don't really know. Oh. Mana, I guess. Damage wall bow. Let's go damage wall bow. Mana. Alright.
Oh, let's get fucked up, baby. Let your body go.
Where did that
I'll
thing
make
go?
your mind go crazy and lose control. So come and move, body, ooh, body. So come and move with my body, let it overload. My heartbeat keeps on repeating, about to explode. Just turn the lights off, baby, and let it go. I'll make your mind go crazy and lose control. So come and move with my body, stay with me for the night. I just want to party, losing no control.
This fucking filter's so scuffed, dude. Now, if it's got fizz on it, it's okay. Endurance threshold's okay. We don't need endurance. Cold res is fine. Okay. Extra points isn't necessary. one of them. Damage. Two of these affixes. 2-6. Nope. We want one of these affixes. More equal than you. More equal. More than B. Yeah, this filter's so scuffed, dude. I have to fucking redo it at some stage. Right. Close that shit, please. Boy. You got a rank on you. Please go away, whatever that is. Where is it, dude? Go away. Stop attacking me. I'm reading. Nope. You got a thing on you. You got a thing on you. Let's go. I should really check the loot filter. I feel like I'm missing so many items. Where's right bit? Okay, well, anyway, something like this is fine. Life base. Can I not?
Like shorty, what it do? Got a bad bitch on me, I'ma leave with you. If I walk up in the party, motherfuckers better move. If a motherfucker try me, I'ma put him on the news. Goddamn, I don't want no fucking bitch. Cause I came in the club, ayy. Watch out, motherfucker, cause I'm looking for a lick. Got diamonds on my wrist, brass knuckles on my fist. I'm slapping motherfuckers in the face in the pit. Might hit him in the head, I got 100 in the clip. Wait, little bitch don't want that. I'ma put a blade through his chest like a thumb like down. This chopper gon' have a run it. But fucking on this bitch, I'ma fuck her and never come in. Got a bad little bitch at the crib, and she up to something. I'ma walk up in this bitch, I don't care if they tell me come in. Cause I came in that bitch, and I'm looking for a body. I feel like murder is a motherfucking hobby. I'm coming off the top, feeling like I'm Jafari. I'm pulling on the dance floor, we could party. Put on my shirt from the Fendi.
My current helmet. We can barely make that better. We can make this a million times better. This is pretty close to being good. Let's get rid of that chance of bleed. That's a pop. Chin. Alright. Good ring. Good ring. Next upgrade is gloves. Kinda. Yes. Dex gloves. just put this in the bin forever? Oh, that's not T7, that's sad. See, this is why we need to fix the fucking... It's this one, right? We're gonna take this one. Because it's not garbage. Oh, I've never seen a fucking LP bar on the ground. It's that color. Nice. Raining pops. Body armor. Let's do body armor. We want this one, yep. Affix says we want. We want that was it crap. Dex. Help and help. Don't want roses on this one. Don't want mana on this one. Don't want that. We do not want that. 5 affixes. Perfect. I need more colors, GG. Fucking EHG. Maybe we'll use that color. Alright. So then this one, copy that. We want some gloves, right? And some big boy gloves. These are the best ones. So we're gonna lose the endurance. Shift F. Yep. Why have you got 2 selected? That's scary. No. What is happening? Actually, gaming H2. Anyway. Dex. Dex. We want the healths. Now, the other thing we want is try attack speed. Endurance. fucking wave, isn't it? Oh, it's not. What the fuck? I'm shocked. How'd that guy live? It's a bit tanky, those mobs. Nothing cool. Oh, bow. Bow. Let's go. I can't believe I got a 2 LP and a just fucking absolutely disgraceful craft. No idea what that is, but anyway. Oh, I don't even know where the bow is actually. I wonder whether the... Did we use that? Nope. Dogging. Used it, didn't it? Come on, game. Come on. One time. Boys. Yeah. 1 LP Zang. Atrophy. Are we done here? For now? Prophecies probably need me to stay. A lot of the prophecies were for Harud Day. Harud. What's this one called? I don't want to read it. Focus on that one. 300. Where we at? 140. Yeah, we'll get a different one. So ending the storm. We do prophecies for here. Probably gotta get some more. What are you doing, puppy dog? Hey, what are you doing? Hello, sweet girl. Hello. Hello, my sweet girl. It's raining. It's raining. Zip zop. G'day, mate. Sit down. No, go sit down. Yes, I know. Hello. The door's open. Hey, the door's open. Ending the storm. We get the new blessing. See how we go. So it's 850 stability. Gerald. Where the heck was I going here? Get that. I our crit chance at now that we lost that? Okay, so we lost like 6% crit chance. That is not the end of the world. Because now we leech. Pretty good leech too. Someone damage me so I can see it. Yeah. So sad we don't have fizz resist on our thing anymore. Quiver.
Vê se toma cuidado que eu tô pegando fogo. Vai ter que ser certeiro, hoje eu quero bem gostoso. Tá muito quente aqui, eu tô morrendo de calor. Chata tá pegando fogo, é tesão ou é amor? Ai, 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 você me dá muito calor. A minha chata é o incêndio e teu pau é o extintor. Ai, 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 você me dá muito calor. A minha chata é o incêndio e teu pau é o extintor. Chata tá pegando fogo, é tesão ou é amor? É tesão ou é amor? Chata tá pegando fogo, é tesão ou é amor?
Where?
É tesão ou é amor?
Cringe.
Ai, 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 você me dá muito calor. A minha chata é um incêndio e seu pau é o extintor. Vai, ai, 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 você me dá muito calor. A minha chata é um incêndio e seu pau é o extintor. Vai, vê se toma cuidado que eu tô pegando fogo. Vai ter que ser certeiro, hoje eu quero bem gostoso. Tá muito quente aqui, eu tô morrendo de calor. Chata tá pegando fogo, é tesão ou é amor? Ai, 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 você me dá muito calor. A minha chata é o incêndio e teu pau é o extintor. Ai, 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 você me dá muito calor. A minha chata é o incêndio e teu pau é o extintor. Chata tá pegando fogo, é tesão ou é amor? É tesão ou é amor? Chata tá pegando fogo, é tesão ou é amor? É tesão ou é amor? Ai, 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 você me dá muito calor. A minha chata é um incêndio e seu pau é o extintor. Vai, ai, ai,
Oh.
ai, você me dá muito calor. A minha chata é um incêndio e seu pau é o extintor. Vai,
Look just like me under these lights. I must have known you before.
I'm getting 15 decks on him, that'd be nice. This can... That's our bow, right? Okay, let's play that. That's garbage. Honestly, let's just get rid of that. I don't Okay, 1 LB. Two LB. Let's just put that there. She rolls, but whatever. Chip on. That was not an invitation to get up, bruh. I'm not patting you. No, go away. You've been cuddling with the cat and now you're itchy. Hey, you make me itchy when you cuddle with him. You know that.
Just what I've been waiting on. What took you so long? Looking at you now, thinking what
Never actually seen that art before.
can't imagine me with somebody else. When it's been you all along. What took you so long? What took you so
Send these boys we're back in business.
I was angry at the universe, at the others. Got to love you first, so I made you mine.
Garbage.
Now the summers never felt like this.
39
and the
grubs on
colors
that's pretty good.
never looked like this.
We just do it straight away.
No more wasting
Why not?
time. What took you so long? Feels like I've known you for all my life. Tell me where you've been on my lonely nights. You're just what I've been waiting on. What took you so
Get
long?
2 on the next one. Get 2
Looking at
bosses
you
on the
now,
next
thinking
one.
what the hell
corrupt.
Can't imagine me with somebody
Iron damage,
else.
swap,
It's been
boring.
all along. What took you so long? What took you so long? Feels like I've known you for all my life. Tell me where you've been all my lonely nights. You're just what I've been waiting on. What took you so long? Looking at you now, thinking what the hell? Can't imagine me with somebody else. It's been all along. What took you so long?
Come. Words of Sentence. Double sentence. Why am I farming last mages? Just for that. Iron build? That's a good build. This foundation is perfect. I wouldn't say that actually. Water potions. No sentence in there? Kidding me, dude. Winsmith needs to wake up himself.
When you're not next to me, I'm falling apart right in front of you. Can't you see? I lose
Yeah, this way.
control when you're not next to me. Yeah, you're breaking my heart, baby. You make a mess of me.
We're seeing a red idol just once in our lives, dude. One time we're gonna see an idol that's actually working. Hey, pick that up. Good this way. Wait, do the boots do -2 every time? Oh, it's -1 though. I'm never gonna see a red idol in my life, dude. Should I go slam this guy?
We're high, we're drunk, there's fun, there's no police. Fuck man, the day's great, the day's lost. This hook about to be stupid. Okay, I've been hustling like every day, doing time on the grind, trying to make a pay. Hey, I'm still posted on the same block, same hood, still ducking from the same cops. I try hard, but the life that I live, man, ain't all it seeming. Sometimes I pray to God I'm dreaming, but I ain't. Try to get out, but I can't. Damn. Ride out, slide out, take your bitch to my hideout. Then she see what getting high out. I got joint rollers, I got weed crushers, I got joint papers, I got big crushes on these little bitches and these big money. I don't talk money, I just head to
Dex
the
is
bank.
pretty good.
Yo,
Level
bitch,
3
love me.
Falconer.
Getting all this bread. Run the world, homie.
That's what I'm picking up.
Okay, I've been hustling like every day, doing time on the grind, trying to make a pay. Hey, I'm still posted on the same block, same hood, still ducking from the same cops. I try hard, but the life.
There's obviously a lot that can go into building a menu.
One shot by
Nope.
YouTube.
Nope.
Hey, what's up guys, Riff here. So today we're going to look at two general topics. The first being games journalists reaping what they have sowed, and the second topic being a look at the Game Developers Convention taking place in California, where woke attendees have put their hatred of gamers on full display with their cult-like behavior. Now let's start with the
Well,
journalists.
gamers are scum.
Now full scale, journalists have been suffering over the past couple of years
All they
because
do is
who would have
buy our
thought
games
people
and
would stop
keep
supporting
us
the
in
slop
work,
articles
you
that
know?
they've been shoving out non-stop. But in particular,
Absolute scum.
games journalists have been catching a lot of L's recently, and here we have an official report that the Kotaku editor-in-chief has resigned over a new editorial edict. Now, what was this all about? To sum it up very simply, basically a Kotaku contributor was asked to write articles about games instead of political things, and that was too much for them and they resigned.
Yeah, fair.
Let's look at this announcement here. So,
I wouldn't
Jen
wanna
Glennon,
write
who took
articles
over
about
as
games either if I was a
editor-in-chief of
games journalist.
Kotaku
It's
in
boring.
October, resigned Thursday.
Oh, good
In a
chance.
resignation letter seen by Aftermath, Glennon says that she made this choice
Man, you're
due
good
to the
too.
management team's recent decision to deprioritize news in favor of game
Let's
guides.
do this.
After careful consideration, I have concluded that the
Garbage.
current management structure and decision-making process at G/O
Garbage.
Media are not aligned with my values
We still
and
have
goals for Kotaku. Yes, just like I
where did I
mentioned,
put them?
basically Kotaku contributors were asked by management to make more game guides
Nothing important.
instead of
Wait,
divisive
wait.
political articles, and
T6
this
Richards,
editor-in-chief
who cares?
immediately resigned. How pathetic is that? Moving forward, according to a source close to the situation, Kotaku staff will be expected to
Bro,
create
I don't
50
even know
guides a week at
Who
the
has
site.
ever read a
Currently,
Kotaku
Kotaku's
article?
homepage features prominent
in
game
their
tips and guides module at the top of the page in a space that was previously reserved for major stories and
who the
breaking news.
fuck
Now,
pays
looking
for
at
that
some of the
shit?
reaction, you see some
my
of the
God, go
original
away.
members of the
Don't stand in the
Gamergate
middle of that.
2014 situation, like Nathan Grayson.
Stormo?
If you know who he is, you know all of
No,
his
you don't.
crazy ties to the Gamergate participants. He is crying on Twitter like many other games journalists and their supporters, saying G/O Media is effectively forcing Kotaku to pivot away from news and demanding that its staff of 7 writers churn out an
7
impossible
writers.
number of guides per
They can
week,
pay
not
7
what
people.
writers signed up for, and not why people visit Kotaku in the first place.
He's
Stupid
a
and
daughter.
cruel.
Look how many bloody
Now, of
he's
course,
daughters.
people don't feel sorry for anyone at Kotaku, especially given their attitude
What does
towards
that
their
say?
own
It says
work
789.
and also the attitude of gamers in general.
So we
You
still got
reap what you sow. Nobody
plenty
feels
of-
sorry for them. And of course, you read the
of
replies to that previous tweet, and people are just dunking on them, saying people
man just
visit
got
Kotaku. Guides and reviews are literally what started the gaming journos. They weren't even doing news. They were just writing rage bait and propaganda. And of course, that's a pretty good summation of what's going on here. Now, you have other quotes saying this: the only thing that's stupid and cruel is Kotaku and its staff. Maybe you're being forced to churn out guides because it'll be next to impossible for you to insert your politics into those. And honestly, knowing the people at Kotaku, I think they'll find a way, unfortunately. But moving on, the article says, in quotes, I firmly believe that the decision to invert Kotaku's editorial strategy to deprioritize news in favor of guides is fundamentally misguided
don't know.
given the current infrastructure of the site, Glennon wrote. This decision, directly contradicted by months of
funny.
traffic data, and shows an astonishing disregard for the
side stuff is
livelihoods
just so-
of the
so
remaining writers and
weird.
editors who work here. And of course, she would make her announcement on Twitter saying, some personal news, I've resigned from Kotaku and Jim Spanfeller is a herb. I've seen a lot of people from Kotaku using that phrase. I don't know what they mean, and I don't care to understand what they mean. But that was her resignation announcement on Twitter. Now, how do you think this was received?
No, is a herb
Of
something
course,
you put
people
on
just
top?
mocking her relentlessly,
Is it
and she would
spice?
hide all of these replies like this one.
Why do people
And this
have
one
to
down here
fucking
saying,
think they're special?
well, maybe the site will actually talk about games and games news instead of political junk. Why would you hide this reply? It's basically showing how insecure you are about a comment like this, and you're pretty much proving them right. But other people from Kotaku would come to the defense of Jen Glennon. You have Carolyn here, who is a Kotaku contributor that we've talked about before, saying, extremely proud of Jen for taking this ethical stance in response to profoundly misguided anti-journalism edicts from G/O Media Management. Ah, yes. Very brave move, she says, as she continues working with Kotaku as Jen Glennon resigns. Ah, she made a stance. Why don't you make a stance too? Or is your job more important than your ethics? Ah, I don't know. But of course, Carolyn has supported a lot of Kotaku employees, both former and present, including Alyssa here, who wrote the hit piece on this whole situation involving the ongoing Gamergate situation, where of course Carolyn would
Right.
support Alyssa's comments that stated that you can't be racist to white people. And of course, turning to Alyssa, you know that she had something to say about this situation. Of course, locking her account immediately after tweeting this right here, saying, the fact that leadership wanted to aggressively pivot what Kotaku does in the midst of a harassment campaign levied against me and the site for an original piece of reporting that was the second most read story for over a week is telling. Now, I'm going to actually make a little bit of a leap here, but the fact that this article she wrote wasn't even the top read story over the last week is insane. This is the biggest story of your career. There are millions of people watching your account as this drama has unfolded, and you've made yourself one of the main players of it, and you still couldn't even get the most read story of the week? That's not a very good sign. I would imagine the most read one was probably something to do with actual gaming news and something that wasn't divisive and attacking the potential readers. But she goes on and says, oh, it drove industry-wide conversation and is still driving it. But what about how to get coins in Super Mario 64? Where all these complaints can be summed up by this reply saying, rev up those guides. Going forward, we have another video game reporter here. This one from, of course, a former Kotaku, but now with The Verge. She had this to say before privating her account, much like Alyssa. It ain't great for sure, but it's there. It's now a function of finding the people you like and supporting them in their endeavors, irrespective of where they publish. So basically what they're saying is, I have an issue with Kotaku, and an ethical disagreement with Kotaku in general, but I'm still going to support people there because I like them. They will do anything to preserve their little friendship club in this space of the gaming industry. They will completely flip up their morals as long as it protects their own interests and agenda, and it's on full display here. And of course, this Ash Parrish person was the one responsible for this recent Verge article about Gamergate, where of course, just like everyone else, she fails to mention the harassment campaign launched by a Sweet Baby Inc. employee that started this entire thing. But she was also the one who tried to say being a part of the Steam curation group Sweet Baby Inc. Detected is basically going to lead people to radicalize themselves if they stay there long enough. Yet, she can support people in Kotaku that she thinks has a very bad management system that is hurting journalists. Interesting. Anyway, so here's another Kotaku contributor running defense for the company and the other employees saying this. You know what? F it. Here's a small cup of tea. Management doesn't even care about the quality of the guides. They want us to aggregate them from other sites like a literal content mill. That they're destroying people's livelihoods gags me. Not in the good way. They got a lot of weirdos working at Kotaku, don't they? Why would you feel the need to say this? This is very strange. You can't even make a serious post about the potential loss of your job and the crumbling down of your company without making a weird sexual comment. Like, are you taking this seriously at all? And this idea too right here of just openly crapping on your management in a public tweet. Like, how do these people not get punished at their job for speaking ill of their own management like this? It's kind of crazy. But moving forward, we would see this tweet from Carolyn, who was getting increasingly frustrated as people criticized her for defending and supporting the editor-in-chief who just resigned from Kotaku. She made this tweet stating, maybe just me, but I really think news publications should be owned by people who value journalism. The projection is off the charts. Yes, this past week has really shown us who values journalism. And guess what? It's not Kotaku contributors who have been extremely biased and really just incompetent in their coverage of this ongoing Gamergate situation. And yeah, it's really rich to hear about valuing journalism from a Kotaku contributor like this. But moving on from journalists, we're now going to game developers because the Game Developers Conference is coming to a close today. It's been a 4-day event in where else but San Francisco, California, because that's exactly where you would expect a bunch of woke developers to congregate together to cry about gamers. Now you can see there's tons of different talks and seminars throughout this entire event, and as this user points out, there are about 55 talks on diversity and gender in this GDC 2024.
Jeez,
inclusive design, gender gap, Afrofuturism, Afrofantasy, LGBTQAS plus debates, cancellations, and control of toxic communities. Yeah, only 15% of the conference is focused, or 15% of this conference is focused on these sorts of things. And let's see some of these very brave conferences that they're having. Oh boy, Marxism is great for a designer. Literal communist sympathizers on full display. Who would have guessed the woke developers would support Marxism? And there's other weird lessons here, but what about this one? and white gender able-bodied man as the default. Great. I'm sure gamers will really appreciate this weird, hyper-focused, specific complaint you have. Here's another one pointed out here. Cancel Pigs are also running a class tomorrow at GDC where you can learn to apologize better after they are done canceling you. Of course, it's run by Feminist Frequency, one of the main players of Gamergate going all the way back to 2014. And you can see, so you've been canceled. Now what? Basically, this is set up for people who are getting canceled, right? Who have caused damage and have been called problematic and abandoned by their colleagues and friends. How can you fix this? Well, this intended audience is for anyone who has hurt others and wants to prevent it from happening again. Anyone worried about unintentionally harming others, anyone who has faced a call out and wants to make things right, or anyone who is interested in supporting people they care about who have done harmful things. I wonder if they're going to bring some of the people from Kotaku and Sweet Baby Inc. who have made disparaging remarks about other people based on the color of their skin. I wonder if they're going to get included in this intended audience. Unfortunately, I think because it's ran by the Feminist Frequency, I don't think they're going to consider what they did wrong, even though they've been called out rightfully by literally thousands of people. But moving forward, this is the cherry on top. This is what I've been hyping up this entire video. This is the clip that a lot of people are making fun of right now, so I'll read the tweet. It says, developers vented their frustration at the game industry's layoffs and a long scream at GDC 2024. GD Scream is a collective moment of catharsis. So it goes beyond even the reasons listed here, as we'll see in a moment. They are venting out their frustration not only at the current status of their field, but also at gamers who are criticizing them. Let's listen to this clip. It is absolutely hilarious.
None of these good. What the fuck are they doing? Are they 5 years old? I thought the world is...
Ladies and gentlemen, this is what a cult looks like. Okay, you have a bunch of people literally going together in a band like this, screaming out at the injustices that they're facing as game developers. Meanwhile, they are some of the most privileged people you'll ever see. You are literally standing in California complaining about how hard you have it as a game developer at a conference that is quite lavish, to say the least. But when you read some of the reasons behind this group's screams, some of the documented ones, as we see here, it gets even nuttier. So let's read this. Today, over 50 game developers met in a park across the street from the Moscone Center, where the annual Game Developers Conference was taking place. They had one objective: to scream as loud as possible. The event, known as GD Scream, took place in an open area in the middle of the Yerba Buena Gardens, where event organizers assembled the crowd holding up pieces of paper with "Scream" scribbled on them. One of the organizers wore a shirt printed with Munchie's The Scream. Another participant wore a t-shirt printed with an ice cream cone. At exactly noon, the cluster of individuals from all corners of game development let loose a loud scream that lasted for several seconds. As it trailed off, the group broke into relieved laughter and applause before slowly dispersing. Yes, like I said, there is something very, very wrong with these people, and it's reflected in their work to begin with. But this is the current status quo. These are the people calling you losers, incels, racists, bigots, and alike because you dare question some of the woke agenda that they're injecting in your games. Meanwhile, they have to have a group scream together to let out all their frustrations of their very difficult life they have as a game developer because people would dare question some of the products that they're a part of. But overall, that's going to do it for this video. Some more prime content coming out of this ongoing Gamergate situation, and I'm glad you guys could share this moment with me and take a good laugh at some of these people reaping what they have sowed and having their crazy behavior put on full display for the public to see. But that's going to do it for this video. As always, feel free to share your thoughts about today's topics in the comment section down below, and I'll see you guys next time.
Bye, Lagoon. Ward decay. Ward per second. Health regen. Place. Yep. Go outside if you want to do something, please. Dogs? I don't like you sneaking around. Hey, what are you doing? Boy? Do we actually have anyone talking about PoE that's not just fucking clickbaiting? Maffle.
Hey guys, it's Matthew here once again. Mildly hungover from yesterday's kind of patch note stream and all that, so bear with me as I struggle to get through this announcement video thing. We have got Necropolis fully announced in all its glory. It's actually pretty big as a another standalone Path of Exile league. Was expecting some big things, and we got probably bigger than what we expected. Pretty much everything on the list you would have asked for, some kind of endgame shit, some kind of gems, and a nice league mechanic, and some balance and all that. And yeah, pretty much all of it's coming our way. So to begin with, the mechanic itself does look a bit confusing. How you're going to chop and change with the sort of monster buff, debuff, etc. stuff. I think it'll be pretty intuitive once we get into it, and then in the end it's going to result in crafting a few items here or there. It doesn't look like it'll be anything, you know, super game changing, at least to begin with, but maybe once you get the right stuff, the right corpses together, you can make some pretty powerful items. At least by the looks of it, you might be able to make some items with some extra mods that could be deemed as some power creep. It's just about how hard that'll be to actually do. But as you can see, there's a lot to sink your teeth into as far as like end games concerned, mapping, yeah, more bosses, more higher maps, a bunch of quality of life. This actually honestly just feels like a very large patch overall, and I think that yeah, for the first few days, it's honestly going to feel kind of like a different game, even just with all these little micro tweaks and quality of lives and just, you know, good solid changes. So it's a pretty freaking big patch and expansion coming our way. I'll try and go over just the announcement and some patch notes. Hopefully not too long of a video here. Yep, Necropolis Challenge League, go in, some things are haunted, they're going to be a bit more buffed, they're going to do a bit more damage or some shit. First time we ever actually get to kind of see the layout of certain monster types and stuff inside a zone or a map. And as well as that, it's going to show like what some of those monsters do. So, you know, you might hover over a mob and it'll say like it does fire damage, or, you know, has this sort of ability. So it's a bit more information about mob types and maps than we've probably ever had before, which is kind of interesting. You kill some stuff, you get some stuff, you'll sometimes take corpses away and then be able to use that sort of stuff to craft an item or two. And it kind of has similar vibes to Harvest, but dead instead of alive, you know, because you might be able to target craft a certain item and come pretty close to exactly what you want to make with it if you have all the right stuff. We'll see how that pans out, but as I said, there will be some pretty powerful stuff happening already, as you can see from these examples. 34% damage taken recoup on a chest, as well as the gem-socketed color thing. +1 power charge on a hat, and then you can still do Eldritch Implicits. That's pretty crazy. Nothing too crazy there, but the movement speed cannot be modified. Jug boots, I mean, that's pretty nuts. Getting to make some of this stuff, like if it's common enough or the recipes for them established enough, that's going to be pretty damn nice and, yep, game changing. They've already showed off several uniques, and some of them look extremely busted. You got yourself the Wraithlord hat. That thing looks insane for Spectre users. I don't know, probably just straight up overpowered. not too sure if Mana Storm's any good, but I never really fucked too much with it. This thing looks like it could be pretty solid. There's a lot of, you know,
Why did my necrotic?
a lot of competition over the belt slot already. So yeah, that is a tough one, you know, to necessarily get
See that
into your
damage
build as
level
well.
out.
But if this goes up to 3 charges for all 3 of those, it's huge flask sustain and then also 100% recovery from life flasks. Yeah, that could end up being a pretty powerful belt for certain builds.
I don't even
Indeed.
check out
I love the
damage.
look of these things. Fortify, if you can stack up to like 40 Fortify, which you would be able to do if you really try hard, then this covers like getting Fortify, and it also gives you a bunch of damage reduction as well as 40 attack speed. Pretty damn nice glove. Definitely want to get that into a few builds. And then, of course, Rage. So cast Berserkers. This thing's going to be pretty insane. It'll be easy getting this much Rage, like with the 200 mana thing, if you're a proper mana caster. And then, yeah, all your Rage giving you cast speed and spell damage instead of attack speed and attack damage. Pretty nutty. You'll be able to get a lot of attack speed, a lot of cast speed and a lot of spell damage, especially if you're an actual Berserker. And yeah, this is going to create some pretty busted builds, I think. Some other stuff, you'll find some stuff that can, you know, do even more for the league mechanic. Extra packs of monsters that drop specific things. But most notably of all of this is tattoos. So tattoos are going to come back from the Ancestor League. They're diluted, so they're nowhere near as good as they used to be, but there are still some pretty good ones and some, you know, nice quality of life to be able to change some of your stats into some cooler things. And then, yeah, big new endgame. So tier 16 used to be the highest tier map. Now it's going to be tier 17. There's 5 of these. Each of them is going to have like a large boss or a penultimate boss. And then the maps can get pretty crazy themselves as well. And these maps serve the purpose of giving actual Uber fragments for the current Uber bosses. So you no longer have to make a choice between killing the regular boss or the Uber boss with your one key to that boss fight. You instead have to actually farm separate things. So if you want to do an Uber version, you are doing tier 17 maps, farming the fragments, and then doing an Uber version of that boss. It's something a lot of people have complained about and wanted for economic factors and stuff. The separation of Ubers and non-Ubers, and here it is. The maps themselves look like they're going to be pretty nuts as well. Like, we were told that there's going to be, you know, you're going to fight other bosses and shit in there. You can have packs of Brutuses and stuff like that. So that looks like it's going to be a lot of fun and a pretty big challenging zone. And then give you specific Uber fights. And then, yep, additional Atlas skill trees. A lot of people wanted a way to save Atlas trees and go from one to another, like have a bossing Atlas tree and a farming Atlas tree. Instead, you get 3 now to chop and change between. You can have a farming one, you can have like you know, a specific league mechanic one, you can have an end game one, and you can just insanely enough, go to your, you know, when you open a map, just pick whichever tree you want to activate towards that map. So you don't actually even have to like change your layout to the entire new tree. You just click whichever one you want at the time that you want. It seems like insane quality of life, and yeah, this will be a game changer for sure. Reworked some endgame content systems, so sextants are going away, which is a good thing. Scarabs are much more diverse in what they're going to do. They're going to do some cooler shit by the looks of it.
Off-screen while I'm reading.
You won't necessarily always want to have, you know, always have the right scarabs or always have to use scarabs in certain ways. But once you get some cool scarabs, they should feel a bit cooler sometimes. I think anyway. This is my interpretation of the scarabs. You know, get a really cool one, use it, get a real cool reward out of it. Feels impactful and good. But there's a lot more scarabs now, and they're going to do a lot more things. And then, yep, passive skill tree improved to give you more permanence to the content you might want than before. So if you want to like guarantee Legion, you pretty much will be able to guarantee Legion. And then you can get all of the master missions or all of the masters to show up in a map randomly at the same time. They are no longer exclusive, and master missions don't actually exist anymore either. More transfigured gems, so they are doing a bunch more to a bunch of skills. and some of them already look kind of nuts. Not too sure to say
Oh,
about
that's right.
these
There's
at
the
the moment.
there's like
I think Ice Shot could
the
be a thing.
numbers,
Maybe Ignite Ice Shot as
the
well.
red,
This one hits a
yellow,
lot harder,
and white numbers, and that's how many missions you
does,
had. Yeah,
I don't know, some extra projectile stuff. But yep, some of them look like they can be pretty nuts. And then supporter packs are indeed pretty freaking cool. If you haven't already had a look, Power of the Sun and stuff, you look cooler with the sun thing, but then you can fly around on a cosmic turtle as your hideout. Or you look a bit eldritchy and stuff, and Shaper Slam as a finisher, Mimic Strongbox or Mimic Stash. Yep, cool eldritch shit. And then I don't know what happened. Eldritch Horror Apparition, like they do a fight or something. I don't know. It's whatever. So yeah, there's obviously a
Isn't
lot
that
to talk
the
about
hideout
with
gambler
patch
thing?
notes if we went over every single one. I probably can't do that. That's just an overview of the expansion or the league, and it's looking pretty thick. I am pretty damn excited to get into this one and experience what I think is going to be pretty much a whole new game, is what it feels like. One, I'll just go over a few notable things from the patch notes. Sacred Wisps,
wait, isn't it
this looks big. It's going to be a support that you can use to enhance your single target on wanding by quite a lot by the looks of it. You get like 2 extra wisps that kind of follow you when you're attacking single target, and then they'll just replicate your skills at the cost of a support gem, and that means that, yeah, maybe Ellie Hit and Power Scythe and stuff like that will be very viable as starters, and then obviously as end game builds as well. So that one looks pretty damn cool. Let's see, automation. So people are mad about that, but it's whatever. You can automate certain things like molten shell, but it's going to cost you a support gem socket or a gem socket in general. Some pros, some cons to that, of course. Transfigured gems for all of that. Scarabs, Veil Orbs, fallen currencies have stack sizes of 20. Little bit of quality of life, Exalts, Regals, Divines, all having 20 stack size. Let's see, Pantheon powers, you're going to be able to keep them for all of your characters. That's a big quality of life, not having to redo them. Bunch of stuff. They said myriad of small improvements to the campaign. Fun encounters and secrets have been scattered throughout Rayclast. So not entirely sure what that means, but I think that means I'm going to try and explore the campaign in full and see if we can find some cool shit on day one anyway. Alt arts from your standard stash and stuff, you can now suck them up and turn them into MTXs, which is what they said they'd do like 5 years ago, and here it is. And
Blizzard has made this new mode in WoW. It's the Battle Royale mode. I played it for like 1 day. Haven't played it since then. Zari was going to talk about it. See what he says.
A lot of people are asking on YouTube, on socials, and here on Twitch, what do you think of the game? Well, there's W's and there's L's. There's good things and there's bad things. Let's cover the good first. I think the game mode itself, the gameplay itself, is very fun. After playing yesterday for many hours,
good. Yeah.
Diving in, I woke up this morning early, started my stream an hour early. Like, I want to play the game. That's good. The gameplay is fun. It's clearly fun. The engine is on WoW, which is smooth. So the engine is fantastic. Obviously, it's the WoW engine. And the gameplay's fun. That's what everything was hinging on. If the gameplay sucks, the game sucks. If the gameplay's fun, the game's fun. The gameplay's actually pretty fun, and that's
Zario, yeah, there it is. If it sucks, it sucks. If it's good, it's good.
That's the biggest possible W.
That's right.
Because at the end of the day, if everything else is good but the gameplay sucks, then the game's gonna fail, right? The gameplay.
And I wish that more people understood that. The moment-to-moment gameplay is what matters, not the physics of the rocks, not the shadow system, not the dialogue of the characters, not the in real life races of the character actors in the video game. These things aren't real. These don't really matter. Gameplay matters.
It's fun. So that's what I can say very, very, very first. It seems like it has some replayability because there's different builds every single game. I like that it's classless. I think that was really smart. True. I like the simplicity of solo duos. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot that I think it's good. I think it's fun. I think the gameplay is great. And I'm really, really, really hyped to play. Yeah, I mean, those are the kind of the obvious things. I think a lot of people in the community are saying that, like, no duh. Okay, so
yeah,
that's that's the W. What are the L's? What could they be doing better? What are people?
The fire tornado is too strong. Some of the abilities aren't balanced. I think they need to randomize the mob spawns because people are just going to keep trying to dive bomb on an elite. There's going to be like 5 people that go there. They need to randomize the spawns.
Complaining about. And what do I think are
they nerfed the fire?
The things that people are complaining about that they shouldn't be? All right, well, we have a lot to talk about. The first L that I actually think is an L,
they shouldn't be complaining about is,
and I think I understand why they're doing it, is that it's tied into Dragonflight.
Fucking true. So fucking true. You are completely right. Yeah, absolutely.
Like this. It's tied into
Dragonflight. It's like the game, it's a mode that's targeted at people that don't play WoW, but you need a sub to play it. What the fuck?
But you have to download Dragonflight and then the Plunderstorm. Now, the reason why it makes sense is as a WoW addict myself, they make you download Modern WoW. They make you download the latest expansion.
I remember Emeru was mad about this. She had to download the whole game for this.
Like, download retail. And they make you look at your characters every time you want to play. Which is like, and they give you rewards for logging in. So it's like a gateway drug, right? So it's a really smart marketing tool. And I mean, I think that's probably why they did it. So it makes a lot of sense from a business perspective. But as a consumer, I would have much rather seen Plunderstorm in its own launcher. In its own game like Hearthstone, in its own separate, just Plunderstorm. It comes out in its own game mode, free to play with skins. Now, the next thing, moving on to my next point, I do not think it should be $15 a month to play Plunderstorm.
Thank you, bro. Like, this is so true. Abso-fucking-lutely. 100% $15 a month to play this shit. Nobody's gonna do that.
Why? Well, we look at other games, other BRs, namely Fortnite, that blew up.
Naraka, Blade Point, Fortnite, Smite, any of these, none of them are subscription based. It's insane.
Like 100x more than anyone thought, 1000x more than anyone thought. They just went massive to the mainstream. You kind of have to have a free-to-play model for that. There's not going to be millions of people that sub to play Plunderstorm. But
also, I want you guys to understand another thing, is that if this goes well, Blizzard will expand on it and build it. Like, you can't be serious. You don't have $15 to spend. You don't need to be worrying about a game. How many of you guys have been, like, downtown, and there was a place that had a cover charge and a place that didn't have a cover charge, and you went to the place that didn't, and then you ended up buying something there anyway? Yeah, for sure. And so, like, yeah, no doubt. And so, like, that's kind of how this works, is, like, basically what they do is they use the ability that it's free to get people to try it out because of the ease of access. And, like, this is even for, like, I mean, back in the day, like, like, this was, like, only $9 to buy a drink there or something like that. You go where your friends go? Yeah, no doubt. But, like, have you and your friends ever made a decision, oh, let's go here since it's free? So, like, people try things out every single time. Like, $15 a month is a barrier to entry. This is undeniable that it's a barrier to entry. And I don't think that that's necessarily, you're right. If $15 is a big deal to you, you should reevaluate your life. True. However, at the same time, there are a lot of people that just don't want to spend the money because it's like a recurring thing. Like, they just don't want to do it. Like, I know a lot of people like, oh, I want to reset to WoW. I would try WoW out right now, but, like, I don't want to subscribe to it because, like, a subscription is like a commitment, right? Like, psychologically, you're making a commitment in that way. So, yeah, I think that they should at least make it free for a weekend.
Might be millions of concurrent users on Plunderstorm that play if it's free to play. Well, how do you monetize? Well, you add skins in, just like Fortnite or just some of these other free to play games like League of Legends, and it can still be very, very profitable and monetizable for a company like Blizzard, who at the end of the day is trying to make money. So, Free-to-play plus skins is probably a better model for Plunderstorm than putting it behind a $15 per month paywall, in my opinion. Having it in the same launcher as Dragonflight, I understand the practicality behind it from the business perspective and the marketing perspective, but I don't think it's a win for the end consumer, right? I think having it its own launcher now, it's also lower risk the way they did it.
I think that, like, if they want to make it better, they should make it to where you don't have to download all the local files for Dragonflight. Because, like, a lot of people don't have a huge hard drive to, like, make a lot of space for things. And once people see something as, like, 90 gigabytes, they're like, oh, never mind. So, like, if they want to commit on this, they should allow you to just download this version of the game. And then it just says whenever you mouse over this, you know, please go to your launcher and install Dragonflight if you want to access this content. Like, I don't know. I think that's pretty simple.
It's higher risk to make Plunderstorm its own full-on marketed game and then have it suck, and then they have to pull the plug eventually, or, you know, put it into like this maintenance mode, which kind of just sucks, versus it's much lower risk to come out with a limited time event and then they can pull the plug anytime they want.
That's exactly why they're doing it.
They say thanks for playing. So it's lower risk and it's a good market. Like, so I understand why they did it this way. But having played and having it be so good, it makes me think this could literally be like so amazing if it was its own standalone game, free to play plus skins, and it just marketed to the damn masses, and it just 1000x's what everyone thinks, right?
Right.
So that's kind of where my head's at with the L's. Another L, and this is like a mini L, is I don't really love the idea of the whole pirate theme. I understand it, and I think it's fine. I don't hate it. I also don't think it's very necessary. I think just a Warcraft themed BR probably would have maybe been better in terms of not accessibility, but like understandability. Just like the game mode, it doesn't necessarily need to be anything with pirates. The pirate theme seems maybe slightly forced. It doesn't seem...
I can see what he's saying with this. I mean, I don't think it's really... Like, this is... Keep in mind, like, this is not a big problem, but it's, like, just an observation, right? That's all. Just an observation.
Now, do I hate it? No, it's fine.
Yeah.
It just doesn't seem necessary. And I feel like Warcraft-themed BR would maybe even reach like a more broad audience. It's not just like me.
It would, like 100%. Like a larger Warcraft BR would be better than just have it be focused entirely around BFA pirate stuff.
To pirates for no reason. So that's another like mini L, right? It's not a massive deal, right? So the game mode's fun. It could probably be its own standalone client. It should probably be free to play, and it should probably not necessarily be just pirates. Those are my thoughts in the first 24 hours. Now, I have to disagree with a lot of things I've been reading online. Some of the things I've been reading online, first and foremost, are this isn't what we asked for as a community, Blizzard L. I'm gonna...
Thank God. Thank God it's not what the community asked for. Thank God it's not another fucking boring dungeon. Another mega dungeon that's broken up into 2 parts for people to speedrun it. Jesus. It's about time they stop listening to those clowns. The sweats. Yeah, well, let's have another affix for Mythic Plus.
Disagree with that, L. Full-heartedly. First of all, what's behind the sentiment that game companies should only make what you're asking for?
Yeah, it's cool that they made something
Isn't
different.
it a game company's duty to come out with something that we all wanted and didn't know we wanted, and then to blow ourselves...
Yeah, his perspective, yeah, don't give people what they want, give them what they need. He's totally right.
Off?
Yeah.
Isn't that kind of what this has been doing? Look at Twitch, look at YouTube, look at the comment. That everyone's loving this. When no one was necessarily asking for it, and everyone seems to be loving it first day. So it's like, yeah, exactly. Releasing a game mode that everyone, like, that a lot of people enjoy, but no one was asking for, is the duty of a game developer. So I think that sentiment is completely just like out of left field, and it's just a pessimistic...
It's just retail Andes that are mad that the content that's being added into the game doesn't have anything to do with their Mythic Plus IO Raider score. That's the reason why they're mad. It's actually like, yeah, I mean, if you look at it logically, of course it makes sense for them to do this. Duh.
Narcissistic take. Like, let's get that out of here. And then the second thing is like, I didn't ask for this. I think that's just like an absolutely narcissistic...
He's the only person. Yeah, that's the only person that plays the game is that one guy.
selfish take of like, I didn't ask for this, so why did you put this in the game? It's like, excuse me. There's a lot of people that would absolutely love this. Now, a more mature take would be something like, I don't like this, but a lot of people will, and I'm glad Blizzard's taking chances or trying something new. Go enjoy
I think it's completely fair for you to say that Blizzard investing resources into creating a Battle Royale 5 years after the fact that Battle Royale was popular is them just being too slow to move, and they should have released this 3 years ago during BFA itself. Like, absolutely, you should say that. That's 100% a factor. Yes.
This is your cup of tea. And I've seen a lot of people say that, so I'll give credit where credit's due. But man, the people on the forums just saying like, massive Blizzard L, I didn't ask for this. It's just like, dude, gotta touch
blown up over COVID.
Bud.
It would have been popular.
So that's my whole
More popular,
that's my
I think.
take on those L comments. That the L comments are L comments, right?
Yeah,
like
they're just stupid.
Yeah, get those out of here. There are L's though, right? There are L's. Now, where do I see this going in the future? Man, I think a kill counter. I think better balance, even though the balance seems fine right now. There's a lot of good builds. Ranked mode, tournament play, its own game launcher.
I don't think that they should focus on doing a ranked mode or tournament play or anything like that. I think that the moment whenever you start making content like that, you start
that takes the
you know,
fun
you
out
just
of
start
it,
making, like, you start fixating around
making
competitive play. Like, let's not have competitive gameplay. Let's just have a fun game. Just play a game for fun.
Just for fun,
No esport. Like, tournaments will happen no matter what. Like, we had the Mock-Gara tournament, right? I had 100,000 viewers. Collectively, we had like 300,000 viewers watching duels in Classic WoW. It's not about the gameplay. The community will create the content if the game is good. The developer doesn't need to do it.
Solos, duos, maybe they add quads, like you could play with 4 people. Better rewards, more skins. Man, sky's the limit. Sky is the limit with something like this. So anyway, that's a 10 to 15 minute encapsulation of how I feel right now about Plunderstorm after playing for about 24 hours. The TLDR, I'm absolutely loving it. There are L's, but not the L's that you might think. So, boom. There it is.
I think that's pretty fair. I'm sorry about the noise there.
A lot of
different
people
volume. I agree pretty much with everything that he's saying here. I do. I think the pirate theme isn't really necessary, and I think that if you went with a larger general Warcraft theme, it would be better off. I also think that the like the gameplay for it is a little bit too simple. I don't know exactly how to solve that. I don't know, but I'd have to really sit down and think about it.
Touch me, please.
So yeah, like I'm trying to think, like I think the main issue, here's the main issue. This is number one. Number one is the fact that you need a sub to play it. This game is made for people that don't play WoW. That's why they have this game is made to be completely accessible to people that don't play WoW. So you do everything, there's no add-ons, no classes, no weak auras, nothing, right? But at the same time, you can't change your, you can't play the game unless you have a sub. It's like, why did you even do all this other stuff then? Like, you need to have it to where people that don't have a sub can play the game, man.
Shrew, shrew, shrew.